Good morning, lovely people. How are you? It is lovely to see you with me on this live podcast from down here in New Zealand. I am Libby and I am the designer at Truly Myrtle, and I am also the founder of Wardrobe Toolbox. Oh my gosh, I can see all your chat here already. Nice to see you, everybody. Where is Facebook? Facebook hasn't happened, you guys. Where are they? Hopefully some people from Facebook will jump on. This podcast goes out live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time every week, 10 a.m. New Zealand time, Thursday morning. And I can't see anyone calling in from Facebook. Oh, there they come. There they come. You're just a bit slower at Facebook. I think it might have a bit more of a delay there. Nice to see you all. Oh, hi, Yana from New York City. Hi, Ruth. Nice to see you and Sabrina and Becky and Kim and Tanya and Marianne and Mary, Ruth and Diane and Sharon. And there's so many of you on. It's so nice to see you. Hi, Carol. It's a beautiful blue skies and a sunny, warm day in Wallaroba in New South Wales. Oh, fantastic. It's windy over your way, is it, Maureen? Well, it's quite still here. Maureen's not far from me, and it's quite still here. It's not too windy. Can you hear it? It has been raining. It has rained so much. We had, I was sitting in my office over the weekend. We had a long weekend. I actually had to work a lot over the weekend. I've got a lot of things to do between now and Christmas because that's just the way it works out. But I was sitting in my office and I was listening to Mr. Myrtle and my brother cutting down a tree. Well, they weren't even cutting the tree down. They were just pruning the tree. And it started raining, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, they should probably stop. I could hear, I knew that there were homemade harnesses involved. I knew they were high. At one point I could hear my brother saying, oh, not really sure how to get down from here. And then I knew Mr. Myrtle was on top of the barn getting stuff out. Oh my gosh. And then I heard crash and kind of noises. Oh, whoa, like this, and chainsaws and rain. And I just sat here thinking, I can't even look. I'm not even going to look. I can't even look. I'm just going to sit here and pretend none of this is happening. Anyway, everybody is fine. The tree has pruned, kind of. It's not quite as tidy a prune as I would like in some places, but they've pruned it. It's pretty good. I do need to get a tree surgeon to come and have a good look at it because it's massive and it hangs over this little workers hut that we call the whare in our garden, and it's a little old workers hut, and we're trying to bring it back to life to make it a livable space so that we've got another bedroom for one of the many bodies that are going to be joining us for the summer. So all these young people, anyway, goodness me, I don't know, there's something about men and rain and chainsaws and trees, and I just couldn't be involved in all of that. Oh, look at you, Di. I think it must be Di. I love having this to look forward to in the middle of my week. Oh, it's so nice. Because I guess for some of you, this is Wednesday. So that's quite nice. It's hump day, Wednesday. Hi, Barbara. It's a beautiful sunny morning in Rangiora. Facebook is working fine. A-OK. Facebook, that's really good. Hi, Sandra from Australia. I think I must have missed some of you. I'm sorry about that. Hi, Tanya and Sharon. Nice to see you. Another one from New South Wales. Hi, Charlotte. Nice to see you. And there's Libby. That's me. That would be me. Who's this? Someone calling. It's Sally. She's saying hi, Libby, from Eastern Sussex, UK. Hi, Sharon from the Coromandel. Oh, what's the weather like over in the Coromandel today? I bet it's beautiful. That's so nice. Hi, Catherine from Colorado. It's starting to snow. Oh, my goodness me. Cindy said she's still got a very nice warm fall day. Well, Catherine's starting to get snow. Hi, Libby. How are you? Oh, thank you. I love my necklace. My mum was having a clear out. She gave me a couple of kind of chunky necklaces. So I've been quite enjoying dipping into those and experimenting with them in my wardrobe. Nice to see you, Marina. Yes, the joys of living rurally. I have to say, there are many joys. It's funny, isn't it? All the things. I didn't grow up in the country. I grew up in town. I was a city girl. I think I still am quite a lot of a city girl. But I do love being out here with it's just space and green, and I do love it. Quiet and, but yes, there's definitely challenges that come with being in the country. Oh, here's Amanda. She'd know. How are you? All right. So, there are so many things I want to talk to you about. It's a funny time right now. Do you guys feeling it? It's a funny time. I keep saying to Mr. Myrtle, it's a funny time right now. There's a real shift in the air. There's something, I don't know, are you feeling it as well? Something is really changing. I've noticed it all year. All year there's been a real there's something up, and it's both. I just got this feeling about it, but I'm also seeing it. I'm seeing it in everybody, in you guys. I'm seeing it just that. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but there's a real shift happening, and I feel quite excited about it. I think it's quite exciting, but it's also a little nerve-wracking. I don't know what it is. I'm just picking up the vibes. I was always a pick up the vibes person as a little girl. I was always like that. I just knew something. I often knew that something really good was about to happen. I just knew it. I could just feel it, and I'm just got that. It's not quite that feeling. I haven't quite got that, but it's something is really shifting this year, and I've got all these things, all these ideas, all these things I want to talk to you about. I don't know. It might just be me. But if you're feeling it, tell me as well, because there's something in the wind, I feel like. Hi, Michelle from Sydney. Hi, Jan. Oh, it's a great morning in Christchurch. You guys sound like you're having a lovely day. The works have just started after our fire. Oh, thank goodness, Lisa. That has been a big ordeal for you. Hi Sharon, you're getting ready for my Christmas cook cakes, pudding and chutneys. Oh, so you Christmas cook cakes and cakes, puddings and chutney. Do you know this year is the first year in many years that I have actually managed to start some Christmas shopping? Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Last year, did I tell you the story of last year? Mr. and Myrtle and I were I don't know why, we just never got round to things. And we went out and we did this mammoth sort of run and just got presents and Santa things and all of these things on one day. And we went to a mall. I'm not a big fan of malls, but we went to a mall because it was sort of easy, and we were there late in the night, and we had bags and bags. We were like one of those movie characters, with bags and bags, all these things, trying to remember who had what and what we were buying for. And everybody still had Santa. I think it was my son's last Santa because we cut that off when they turned 21. And so we had all this. Actually, maybe he didn't get Santa because he was already 21. But anyway, that aside, we had all these bags, and we got home. This is right before Christmas, and we got home. I hate doing Christmas shopping like this because it's such a rush. And anyway, this is how it worked out. And we had left bags behind. We'd put them down somewhere in that mall. We'd put the bags down, and I think it was one bag, and it had a whole lot of stuff in it. And we must have sat down and had a breather or a coffee or something like that at one point. And it might have been the day. It was sort of through the day, because it was by dinner time we realised it was gone. And anyway, so Mr. Myrtle got on the phone and he rang them all, and he explained that we'd left a bag behind, and we thought it was a farmer's bag. It had other stuff in it, but we thought it was a farmer's bag. And because we were looking at what we had and trying to remember what we had. Anyway, they said, all right, well, we'll see what we can do. We thought, fat chance of anything positive happening out of this, because, thousands of people Christmas shopping at a massive mall in Auckland, so big. Anyway, so we sat round, and I was thinking, oh, this is so annoying. It's really infuriating. It's the last thing we need is to be losing hundreds of dollars of presents right on Christmas at the moment when everything is so expensive. Anyway, we got a phone call back, and someone had been running around, and they said, we found it. We found the bag. Someone had handed it in to Lost Property. And so she'd run down to Lost Property and described it and things, and then someone was bringing it up to something, and we had to go back to Farmers and pick it up. And I could not believe it. I think that was the beginning of the change in the wind when I was talking about. I think that was, for me, it was just extraordinary. So we just jumped in the car. They said we're closing at 10 or 11 or whatever time it was, and we said we're coming now. So we just went down, had to find them in Farmers, wherever they were, and got our bag, and everything was still in it. And that was amazing. It gave me such faith in humanity. It really did. So I don't know why I'm telling you that. Oh, yes, I do. It's because I've actually managed to do a fairly good amount of Christmas shopping already. I've been stocking things up and putting them away and hiding them. And I was going to try and hide a book that I bought for one of my girls ages ago. And then she remembered. She knew that it was on pre-order, this recipe book. And it arrived. I thought, I'm going to put that in her Santa sack. She won't even remember. No, she remembered. She said, where's that book? I thought it should be out by now. Is it not here? And I said, oh, blast. I was going to put it in your Santa sack with all your other bits and bobs. Never mind, I'll give it to you now. Anyway, so she's got that. But yes, so that was a really, really good feeling. However, I'm loath to repeat it. So I've already started, which is good. But I haven't done any cooking. I did think about it the other day. I thought about the Christmas cakes. But I do like a Christmas cake. But my major problem with Christmas cakes is that I really like Christmas cake. I really like it. And all the fruit and me, they don't always go so well. And I just eat it. I just like it. And I accidentally just eat it. And so I should do what my grandmother did and just had nice slices like that. You know, she had proper lady slices on a little plate. I should probably do that, but I don't. I just like a hunk of Christmas cake. So, oh my goodness. Don't forget where you put your early gifts. Yes, Kim, we have all been there, haven't we? We have all been there where we put the Christmas gifts in completely the wrong. Well, they're very safe. They're in a very safe place. So this year I have got a big trunk that my mum and dad gave us when we got married, made out of boards from their old villa when they replaced the veranda. It's a really lovely old Coorie trunk. Anyway, that's at the end of our bed, and so that is the present box this year. I don't have any little pokey fingers anymore that try and find presents, so I'm not so, trying to hide everything quite so well. So they're going in there, and it's loading up. I'm looking forward to pulling it all out and lying it on the bed and seeing what I've already got. Marina says, I've never would have believed it, but having lived here in New Zealand for 7 years, I actually do. People are very, very kind. Yeah, it's true. I just could not. It was really, really good for me to have that experience with the present, because I was a bit worried about humanity, and I was really pleased to have that happen. And it made me feel so good. It was a really made Christmas good. Okay, I didn't come here to knit and natter with you, but I just wanted to say I have so many things to talk about. I have so much knitting I want to do. I have sewing I want to do. I've got all these things. My studio is an absolute tip. I daren't show you what's around me. It is such a mess. There are things everywhere. I've just got a new filing cabinet. This actually was my sister's. It was in our little whare that we're clearing out. And I saw online a woman organising her sewing studio. I don't know how you get sucked into these videos, but there I was. And I'm always intrigued by how the people organise their things. And she had a filing cabinet, and she had sewing patterns, all the old sewing patterns in it. And I thought, what a jolly good idea. I've got a lot of old sewing patterns that were my mum's and mine when I was young. And so once we figure out how to unlock this filing cabinet and dispose of everything that's inside of it, because my sister said, just burn it all. So we'll do that, but I think we have to drill it open. But anyway, once we've done that, I'm going to put sewing patterns in it and figure out where it can go. Over there, behind you, behind me, but over there, behind you, is the sewing corner. So it's going to go there somewhere. I just am in the throes of trying to organise, but I'm also just wrapping up. For those of you who are waiting for it, it is coming. The pattern for Wardrobe Toolbox for testing, it is so close to being finished. My editor's just on holiday at the moment, so as soon as she's back, it'll be with you. And I'm wrapping that up, and I'm also just getting lots of stuff, I said, trying to get ready before Christmas. So I'm quite busy at the moment doing lots of things. And if anyone knows how to find more hours in the day, I'd really like to hear that. That would be really, really good. Michelle said, I've managed to finish 3 small Christmas presents so far, socks and a top. Oh, so see, Michelle, I would love to be making all the presents this year too, but I am not making any of the presents this year. I have done that in the past so much, and I just have other things I need to be making this year, and so there will be no homemade presents that I can think of. I can't think of anything unless I suddenly miraculously am able to do that. But I have dreams. I know my mum is busy making things. Hi Judith, she says from Toronto. It's 23 degrees here. It's not like autumn at all. It's so humid. Well, it sounds like you're like us, although I'd be surprised if it's 23 here today. It might be about 20, maybe even a 19. It's a bit cooler, but it has been humid. We had quite a humid weekend. So I wonder if we're like kind of the same at the moment. But you'll have the beautiful red leaves that we don't have. Hi Lynn, you're wearing your Paloma too. Oh yes, this is Paloma that I'm wearing today. Hi Wendy, nice to see you. Sunny, and I'm at my sewing machine for a quick sesh in between work days. My home is a bit of a brothel. Yes, I can totally relate, Wendy, to all of the above. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm wearing, and then I'm going to tell you. It's taken a long time. I think we must be hours into this already. One of those days. I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing, and I've got a new pattern to talk to you about, and I'm going to talk you through that. But you already know it, especially your wardrobe toolboxes. You already know it. You have to remember it's in your library wardrobe toolboxes. But the rest of you who are not in wardrobe toolbox, this one is for you. So first of all, what am I wearing? I am wearing Paloma. So Paloma is such a fun top, and I really enjoyed designing her, and I am going to do more patterns like this. I love wearing her. She's easy breezy to wear. So she is knitted in commercial yarn. Oh, and I've got more of it over there, and I was just looking at it the other day actually, and I just can't for the life of me remember the name. But anyway, it has got linen in it. It's got, I think it's got a little bit of, does it have silk? I don't remember if it's got any silk. It might have a bit of, it's got slubby linen. It might have a bit of viscose. It's got a bit of, I think it's got a bit of alpaca or wool or something. Someone might remind me what it is in it. That would be good. But anyway, it's a fingering 4-ply yarn, and it's not a cool yarn. I mean, it's light, but isn't cool to the touch. You know how I talk often about the Daintree yarn from Skein, and hers has got the bamboo in it, and it's very cool to touch. And I think sometimes cotton can be quite a bit like that. It has that cool, slightly cool feel. This doesn't really. It has a warm feel, but it's not hot. It isn't a hot top. It's light. But anyway, that's just the texture of it, and it's sort of slubby. But she's obviously a summer top, but I was inspired to make this. No, hang on. I was inspired to make this from a summer top, after a winter top, after a summer top. I can't remember. I had a few tops. Anyway, we start by knitting the shoulders. And we have this lace panel that runs down the shoulder, and you'll see that she runs right from the top of the shoulder all the way to the bottom of the sleeve, despite the fact you pick up for the sleeve, and I really like that. And so you leave the stitches live at either end. So you knit the shoulder, you knit the other shoulder, and you leave the stitches live at the end of your work. And then you come back and you start at the back, and you pick up one shoulder, and you work some shoulder shaping into her. I'm trying to see if you can see how much shoulder shaping. It's about that much shoulder shaping, so it's a good amount because it drops nicely off my shoulder, because she's technically a drop shoulder, but she's sort of a saddle shoulder. I like bending all the rules. So anyway, she has a shoulder drop like that, which you do at the back, and then you do it for the other sleeve, other shoulder as well, and then you join them in the middle for the cross back. You actually join them and then work your shoulder shaping at the back, because if I turn around, you'll see she has a slight dip there for the shoulder, just ever so slight. I like a little dip for the shoulder, and then it goes straight across at the back. Whereas at the front, we do all of our short row shaping, and then we join her in the round. So she just gives her a nice scoop. Technically, half of the shoulder falls to the back and half of the shoulder falls to the front, but my shoulders are quite forward, and I find that things do sort of roll a bit forward on me. Well, they can roll forward, they can roll back. They seem to roll a bit forward on me, but so yeah, technically half of that shoulder goes into the back as well. But anyway, that aside, we do our short row shaping, we shape our neck, and we knit down. So on both sides, we've knitted down to the armholes on both sides, and then we join her, the front and the back together in the round. And then she's worked, see how she's just a T, really, she's a t-shirt T. Then she's worked straight down the body. I don't think there's any shaping in her at all. I don't think so. No, so she just works straight down. You can employ a bit of shaping. You could employ a few bust darts in here. It just depends how wide you want your shoulders to go. I chose a size that was fairly roomy on me. I wanted a bit of volume here. I just was in that phase, and so she does have, a good bit of amount of room around my bust and things. So you finish her, and she's got a high-low hem. She has got a high-low hem. I forget all the details. And then you finish her with just a little tiny short bit of rib at the bottom, and then you come back and you just slide the stitches that are live on the end of your needle here. And so essentially she looks like that, right? With a needle on the end with those live stitches, but these are not live down here or the back. So you pick up the live stitches, and then you just pick up all the way around that armhole and you knit straight, you do no shaping at all, you just knit a little cylinder for your sleeve. Now you can knit this as long as you like. I just decided to knit it that long, so she sort of cuts me off halfway down my arm. You could knit it as long as you like there, and you could, if you want to make it even longer, you could employ a bit of shaping into your arm as well. But she's got a fairly generous sleeve. It's a nice easy fit, so you can modify this extremely easily for your arm by just knitting to the depth that you want. So if you have a much more slender arm than I, then, which is would not be unusual, because my arms are bigger proportionately to my bust, so I'm always sort of trying to work out how I'm going to put my arms in. I knit a size. I've actually started doing a few little things in the patterns that you won't notice that just make them fit me slightly better, but it's tricky when I'm trying to make one of the sizes from the pattern. But anyway, you can knit to basically take your arm circumference, when it's by your side obviously, add on a little bit of ease, and that space, add on how much space you want around your arm in the garment. Remember, this is a fingering yarn, so just even a little bit is going to make a difference. It's not like adding a little bit of ease to a really chunky yarn where the yarn itself will eat into that ease, the space. So you add on a bit of space, and then you work out how many stitches you need for that, or just first of all just work out the distance, the circumference of it, and then hunt round in the pattern for a sleeve that is about that size. If you can't find a sleeve that's about that size, then you convert that to your stitch gauge, so you know how many stitches you need at the sleeve. And to be honest, that's not too hard. You can do that. So then you'll want to knit to half that depth in total, from the halfway down the well, first of all, you're going to only knit to the depth of the sleeve that you have now chosen if you're swapping out your sleeve. If you are making up a sleeve, you're going to need to know half your arm circumference depth, knit to that, do the shaping at the bottom, it's a tiny bit of shaping I think, and then pick up the stitches that you need around the sleeve and off you go. But it's easy, just bring a different sleeve into this knit. So that's Paloma. She is on Ravelry, and she's also on Love Knitting, which is actually called Love Crafts now, and she's also on my website. And don't forget, I told you last week, and I'm going to say it again because I'm going to talk to you about the new pattern. When you buy things on my website, make an account and log in, because then it will save your downloads for you. So when you come back to the Truly Myrtle website, you can log in and there's all your patterns waiting for you. If you do that now and you buy a pattern and you have previously bought patterns from me, tell me, and we can make sure that the old patterns are linked to your new order. But I need a new order from you in order to be able to do that. So that's on the Truly Myrtle website. It's just a nice way of knowing that it's somewhere else that your patterns are saved. I don't hook up to Ravelry. Unfortunately, the shop system I use doesn't hook up. So it is a standalone site. And so if you want it on Ravelry, you buy it on Ravelry. But if you want to have, not everyone's using Ravelry anymore. So if you want to have it on my website, we have the capacity to save your orders for you so you can find them later. I will also say you can buy printed patterns from me, and you can buy PDFs. If you buy a printed pattern, honestly, if you're overseas, it's probably not much point unless you're buying a lot of them, because the postage is crazy. But for those of you in New Zealand, if you do want to buy, it makes more sense. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but often if people put a printed pattern in their cart, and I'll contact them and say, did you really mind to buy a printed pattern when you're in Oregon? Often it's, no, I actually went to just buy a PDF. But if you buy a printed pattern from me, you will automatically be sent the PDF download. So you get both if you buy the printed pattern. My printed patterns are currently, I think they're 18 New Zealand dollars, but I am going to have to put the price up because my printing prices have been up for quite a while now. And I've decided at the end of November, I'm not putting my PDF pattern prices are staying the same, but my printed pattern prices are just going to have to go up a bit. And I'm not sure, did I say what they're going to be? I think I have worked it out, but I've just for the life of me forgotten. But it's $1 or $2 more just to cover my printing costs now, because everything has got crazy expensive, as we know. So that will happen at the end of November. So if you are wanting to buy this new pattern as a printed copy, it's a good time to do it, because you'll get a 20% discount, and It's I've got them. It's a good price at the moment if you want to get them. Okay, let's talk about the new pattern. So I've been talking to you about her in the last couple of weeks. Let me just see. Oh, hey Vanda, nice to see you. I've been talking about her for the last couple of weeks, and her name is Coorie, and she is a lovely big tartan shawl. I just rather love her. She is super cozy. She is, let me put her on, I'll show you how I wear her. She has this lovely long edge. You knit her side to side. I've put buttons on her. You do some of the tartan stitching as you go, and then you go back later and you do the vertical stripes later. You knit the horizontals as you go, and then you do the verticals later. So all of these blue cut stripes this way, that one and that one and that one, I stitch those in later. It is meditative, to say the least. It does take a wee bit of time to do that stitching, but I really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy hand stitching anyway. I find that is a nice sort of slow down. I just like it. I just like doing it. So I enjoyed it, but you will have to do it at the end. Okay, so she's a big triangular shawl, and I wear her like this. I put her on with the middle of her at the front, and then I wrap her around my neck, give myself a little bit of room, and then I button her up. And I grab the buttons. I've got 5 of these nice big buttons on either side, and I reach around for the buttonholes that I've created with my I-cord bind off, and I just button her up. Let me just find a button in the right spot, and I just button her up like that, and you'll notice that the buttons are spaced about the same distance apart as the buttonholes. Now if you're knitting Coorie and you are starting with buttons, or you can't find buttons that are going to work, then you can adjust your I-cord bind off to fit your buttons, and you just do that as you're going. You could just fudge it a little bit, and as you're going, work out how long you need your loops to be to fit around your button, and adjust that accordingly. The I-cord that you're knitting, just adjust that so it's the right length. You might have to play with it towards the end just to make things nice and neat, but I don't actually think you're going to notice terrifically if you get it a little bit off. It won't matter. I've done it obviously mathematically, and so I fit exactly the buttonholes that I did along exactly the stitches that you've got. So you could be mathematical about it if you want, but if you don't find any that fit, you can adjust that quite well. So here she is, she's all buttoned up, and I wear her pretty much like that around me. And once she's on, she is, well, I think she's very stylish, actually. I think she's a great shawl. She reminds me, she's a lot like my flux shawl, the same sort of thing. So she looks like that. She's terrifically warm. I just layer her on top. You just pull her down a little bit at the back. I usually address myself in the mirror so I look right. So yeah, she stays on. So you can just chuck your bag on your arm, you pick up your whatever it is, off you go, and she just keeps you really, really toasty up here, and she is not going anywhere. And you can adjust these buttons, so you don't even have to use the buttons. You don't have to do the buttons if you don't want to, but you can adjust the buttons to give you more or less room inside her. If you want to make her bigger, you just keep on knitting until she's as big as you want her, and then you can just do the thing like the buttonholes, like I said. But essentially, she looks a bit like that. I would button those ones up over here. And yeah, I like her. She's cool. She's sort of a substitute coat. You would wear her instead of a coat. Oh, well, I would anyway. Now, Barbara is here. She said she loves her Coorie. She's fun to knit and wear. And Barbara made hers out of a fingering yarn. So hers is lighter all over. If you make it in a fingering, it will be smaller if you stick to the pattern as I've written it. But you can make it bigger just by keeping on knitting. So, and you can just still wear her like this, or you could just throw her around your neck like you would any triangular shawl. You don't have to button her up. But there's something cozy, I think, about she's DK. Something cozy about buttoning up a DK shawl, and I don't know, she just, with the pops of colour, she just adds something a little bit interesting to the top of your outfit. I've worn her quite a bit this winter that's just gone, particularly when I went down to the South Island a few times. I was down there this year, and she was a great one to wear just as an extra layer over everything, just to keep me really warm. I'd have my cozy jumper on, and then I actually just wore her just like this around my shoulders, like a like a grandma from Little Red Riding Hood around my shoulders, and I liked her like that as well. So she just was more kind of, vaguely Outlander feel. I just felt kind of fabulous dressed in her. Hi Jean, you've been walking the dogs. Nice to see you. So that is Coorie, and I'll just remind you about the yarn. So I used two colours of two solid colours in a DK, and these are both pure wool, really low processing. This is from Skeins in New Zealand, skeins.com, and it's a nice round 3-ply yarn. You are here, aren't you, Lynn? I saw Lynn before because she's wearing a Paloma. Yes, Lynn has the same base at Fibre to Go. For those of you who are in this neck of the woods, she has the same yarn base with her colours on them. And you might have to remind me the name of that, actually, what the base is called, Lynn. So you can grab that in New Zealand, and Lynn and Skeins both ship all over the world. But if you don't want to use this, or you have something in your stash, you've got to be hunting for a woolen yarn, and you can decide, do I go for something kind of a bit more rustic and farm yarn? Oh yes, well, that's perfect, Lynn. It's called Rustic DK, Lynn's yarn. So when I go for something that's a little more rustic, and I have that sort of slightly, I'm about to walk through stones and in Scotland feel to it, or do you go for something that's very smooth and soft and marshmallowy? Because I have seen beautiful Coorie knitted up in a really soft, plump, cuddly sort of feel, and that has quite a different feel to it altogether. It's a real smoosher up around you, and you just feel luxurious in her. And then of course you can really play on that with the buttons if you decide to add buttons. So you can really make a difference to the overall end result depending on the yarn you choose. Mine is very rustic. You might decide to go nice worsted spun, very smooth round yarn. It would be just beautiful in it as well. And then for the contrast color that runs all the way through it, I used Spin Cycle. I used one skein. I don't even think I used the full skein. I think I probably had about this much left of it. I didn't use the whole skein. So I know Spin Cycle comes at a bit of a cost, but I also know a lot of you have got Spin Cycle sitting in your stash and you're not sure what to do with it. So you can use that in here. Just note that you won't see a lot of colour change through the first pass. So as you're knitting it, you won't see the colours change phenomenally, but when you come back to overlay the second colour, or the hand stitching, that's when you start to really see the colour change. By the time you're finished, you're totally in a different place in your Spin Cycle skein. So I use Dream State. This particular colour I used is called Shades of Earth. It just looks wildly different, I think, as you put them together. It's sort of, I guess you can see the shawl in it, but this is very dark, and I think just a little bit of it set against the cream, it has quite a different look to it. It's the copper and it's this green. It's when I got to my two different colours. So, but it's got all sorts in here. It's got purples and pinks and oranges and all sorts all the way through it. So that's what I use. But again, if you've got a hand spun at home, you might use that. If you've got just a really variegated yarn, you might decide to use that. If you've got there's quite a few other brands around that have done these sort of multicolored barber poling skeins, but I mean, if you've got hand spun, use your hand spun, because it won't matter if the gauge is wildly different either. You can just pop that in. Barbara says that she used a Malabrigo fingering yarn for her main colour, and it's soft and squishy. Yeah, it'd be delicious, and I think it would have great drape as well, wouldn't it, Barbara, with that. Michelle said, I used a Rowan DK yarn. Oh, nice. A purple leaning grey, and then two shades of purple alternating as the vertical lines. Beautiful, Michelle. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, Michelle, it's a deep stash buster. I think it's a really good excuse for busting that stash. It really is. And, I've got mine with a pale base, and often we see one and we think, oh, yeah, I kind of steer towards, even subconsciously steer towards some of the similar colours, like a lighter colour. But oh my goodness, I have seen some dark ones, some of the wardrobe toolboxes, because this was a wardrobe toolbox pattern last October. And the oh my goodness, the like navy and rich dark base with a lighter color over the top, stunning, absolutely stunning, just beautiful. In fact, I think, Barbara, yours is dark, isn't it? Is yours a dark like a blue or a purpley blue? Is that right? It just absolutely beautiful with these darker colors over the underneath with the other colors on top. So you really can have a lot of fun. I do think, like, I'm not a big stickler for swatching for shawls, but I think it can be really worthwhile just to do a bit of a swatch for this one if you want, because you're introducing so many colors together and it can help you get a good sense of it. You can also practice that back stitching if you want. Look, I've got a tutorial up there which supports you just to show you how to do this back stitching, and I've started this one here. See, you end up with this gutter as you're knitting. See if I can show you properly here. So you end up with a gutter through the work from a purl bump, and then you go back and you stitch into it. I've started the stitching at the top here, and then you have something to follow. So you stay in the right line. It's easy peasy to do, just to stitch down. I did experiment with a couple of ways of doing that stitching. I know a lot of people have used a crochet chain, and I think we must have talked about that inside Wardrobe Toolbox. I think I did. I can't remember now. I've done so many things I've forgotten. Oh, yours is a light grey, Barbara. Has it got blue in it? I feel like it's got blue. Maybe I'm getting confused. Anyway, a lot of people use the crochet chain, which will be one of these ones in here. I did, I think it could be that one. I did a back stitch. Actually, that might be the back stitch. I did a back stitch. I did, that stitch where you actually make it look, a loop back, I did that. That might be that one. Stitch in it. I did crochet chain, and then I did the stitching that I did, which is a back stitch. So there's one that's I've forgotten what they call it, where it looks like stitches, lots of loops. You go round through the loop, bring it forward, around through the loop. I tried that. This is when I was experimenting to see what I wanted to do, and in the end I went for the back stitch, which is this one, because the others sit quite proud of it, quite proud of the work, and I liked the stretchiness of this as well. These ones are a little bit firmer. I'm not sure that you don't get the same give in the fabric as you do. You have to be very careful anyway, but this one is extremely stretchy, and I just wanted both the low set profile or the inset profile, and I wanted the stretchiness in my fabric to be consistent, and so I went with the back stitch. But look, you can just sub out whatever you like for yours. So that's what mine looked like. So if you decide to do a little swatch, you could experiment. It doesn't have to be this big. You could do it like a quarter of this size. Do it that big. You don't have to do it so big if you're just swatching for color. Do a tiny swatch and then just do the stitching and just decide which one you like, because it would be a real bother to do a whole lot and then think, not really, don't really like that one, and then rip it out. So you could just practice here, and you could also see your colors together. It's called a daisy stitch, says Barbara. Right, so that's the one where you stitch around. You go make a loop, and you go through the loop, and you make a loop, you go through the loop. That would be, yeah. It does look really pretty, but I just liked the back stitching myself. It just worked better for me. So, but you get to choose. So if you want to do a bit of swatching, you can. Like I said, I have printed patterns. I have a bunch ready for you. So if you decide to grab a printed pattern, they will also be 20% off. The pattern will be ready tomorrow. So keep an eye on my mini mag. And for those people on my mini mag, I'll send you a code for a discount. So it's 20% off either the PDF or the printed pattern. So if you want the printed pattern, you also get the PDF, and I'll just pop this in the post to you. And they're just these nice little booklets. I show you them all the time. They've got a nice little card cover. And yeah, they have the abbreviations inside. It includes a chart, lots of written instructions, more photos inside. So yeah, if you want to do the printed pattern, I have some of those ready for you too. Was that all I needed to tell you about it? I think it could be all I needed to tell you about it. Coorie, her name is Coorie. She's Scottish. It's like cuddle, means sort of cuddle, cozy, cooch. Cooch is the Welsh way. My brother-in-law's Welsh. He always talks about cooch. But Coorie is the Scottish version of that. So she's just like this great big snuggle that you snuggle into. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with her. If you want to check out some of the projects that have already been, the wardrobe toolboxes some of them have put their projects on Ravelry. So there's some there. You could probably, I'm trying to think how else you could see them. I think we'll post them. Have a look over in our Hangout on Facebook. That is, you can just go to Facebook. It's just look up Truly Myrtle Hangout and it will come up. But it's Facebook/groups/Truly Myrtle, and you'll find the Facebook group. If you haven't joined it, come and join us. It's really fun over there. It's thousands and thousands of people in there. Everybody is knitting Truly Myrtle patterns, and it's a great place to ask for help. So I'm sure the wardrobe toolbox people will be posting their Coorie shawls, because they all take photos of themselves wearing them and looking fabulous, and I know they do. And so they will post in the Hangout. I'm sure they'll start showing you their versions of the shawl from last year, and we will be running a knit along for Coorie. So we'll run it in that group. We're also having one for those of us in Wardrobe Toolbox. We're going to do another knit along over there as well. But I think we're doing one over there. Morgan might have to correct me. Anyway, you'll find out if we're doing one in the lounge. But we definitely will have one in the Hangout, and that will start, I think, can start gathering your yarn together and figuring it out, and just keep an eye out for the prompts that come along, and it will be over the next kind of month or two, just slowly getting your stuff together and knitting it with everybody else. And it's always fun, isn't it, just to see what everyone else is doing at the same time. So you'll need to be in the Hangout to be part of that. So you'll need to be on my mini mag to get the discount, and that is, you could just go to trulymyrtle.com/mini mag, and I'll send you a discount code that'll be in your inbox tomorrow morning. And then you've got till, I think the discount will run until midnight Sunday night, anywhere in the world. So if it's not midnight in your part of the world, then it's not finished. So that is what we are up to. I think that's all I had to tell you today. Yeah, it's a funny old time at the moment. It's a good time. I'm quite enjoying it. I think I'm really enjoying the feeling that summer is coming, and I'm quite enjoying some of the patterns that I've got started and in my mind and things like that. So it's all good. All right, everybody, I will catch you later. Have a lovely, lovely week. Do lots of knitting, and I will see you same time, same place next week for more crazy knitting chatter and all of the other things. Catch you later. See ya. Bye, everyone.